Hello, my name is Charles. Happy New Year and welcome back here to the channel. Today we are covering the GT7 Power Pack, more specifically the oval race in the GT7 Power Pack. You know the one. I don't even know its name because I usually play the game in Spanish, but the oval race with the Group 3 cars at Daytona. There are many interesting races in the Power Pack, but I figured I'd make a video on this one in particular because most of the others don't really have a lot of science to them. They're just about, even on maximum difficulty, all you have to do is just learn the track properly, pick the right lines. I mean, I could make guides on them, but they're a lot less complex than this one. This one, being an oval race against the AI, has its own sort of tactics that you have to employ. So today I'll be showing you how to win this one reliably and cleanly as well. So how to win on max difficulty without resorting to, outright dirty tactics like pit maneuvering the AI and so on. Because we're pretty much doing a NASCAR race here, the definition of clean varies. I mean, we can get away with stuff here that we wouldn't be able to get away with on a normal circuit race. So for example, pushing the AI cars is fair game. A little bit of blocking is probably fair game as well, but, not blatant taking them out or anything. In fact, since GT5, we've kind of had to resort to these tactics to beat the AI in oval races because they're just so inept around ovals. I mean, I'm sure, those of you who played GT5 probably remember that final race in the NASCAR Cup at Daytona with some of the driving aids forced on for some reason, and that race was just super difficult to win because it was very difficult not to get taken out by the AI. This is a pretty similar situation. Qualifying doesn't matter very much, and neither does practice for that matter. I mean, the game always gives you these super long practice sessions in the Power Pack, but you don't really need to use this one. So just get out in qualifying. You don't even need a Slipstream in the Corvette. Just get a clean lap in there, and that should be enough to start maybe top 5 on the grid. Of course, you can try to look for an AI Slipstream if it helps you, but again, trust me, just a single plain lap should get you in the top half of the grid. Now we come to the race, and I think you'll agree with me when I say that this will be a lot easier to win if we're only racing a few cars by the end of the race, instead of, 10 or 12. So what you have to do here is start picking your opponents and find someone to be your buddy, basically. You should look especially towards Igor Fraga, who's in the Mustang. That Mustang is a monster. It's incredibly quick in a straight line, and so it is the fastest car around this oval. Now, that might make you think that what you need to do is, take Fraga out or remove him from the equation, but it's actually the exact opposite. What you want to try and do is run away with him. So the race gets going, and as you can see, I immediately grab a buddy. Now, it's not Fraga here, it's Bonelli, but it doesn't matter because he's also driving a very quick car. So in the first few laps, I just push him along. Obviously, you have to be very careful here, especially through the turns, not to take him out. You have to stay right on his rear bumper and just push him along, help him nicely. And what that will do is that will start to divide the race. I mean, yeah, right, the guys behind you can still keep up with you, but that'll cause some of the AI cars to start falling behind because those guys can follow a big group of cars, but they can't follow a spread out group of cars. So by lap 5 or 6, by the halfway point of the race, you'll probably find yourself racing just 4 or 5 cars at this point. And it is here that I wait for my moment and I grab Fraga so we can both run away together. Now, I wait for him to get a good run on the other guys, and when he does, I just follow him through and then start pushing. And because, of course, there are no longer 8 or 10 cars behind us, there are only like 3, they cannot keep up with us anymore. Fraga is driving a super quick car. I'm doing it, I'm using the Slipstream optimally here. I'm pushing him along. And the guys behind us can no longer keep up. So, we start to gradually pull away from the rest of the pack. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. At this point, the Slipstream is all but broken, and I'm basically racing him for the win now. If you want to play it dirty, this is where you slam the guy into the wall and just cruise to victory, which is very easy, but again, is not what we're going to do here. In this channel, we are good, clean, law-abiding boys, so we're going to beat him fair and square. And the way to do that is by staying behind him until nearly the end of the race, and then on the last few laps, so for example the penultimate lap, the third to last lap, we're going to start rehearsing what we're going to do on the final lap. And what I like to do here is I just hang back about 2/10, so make sure you're about 2/10 behind the guy, And as you enter the second banking, or a little bit before you enter the second banking, rather, give it everything, full throttle, and just close right up to him, pull out of the slipstream, and you'll find yourself ahead by the time you get to the line. So just make sure you practice that a couple of times, and when the final lap comes, execute it, and there you go. You've won. This strategy is so reliable that it's probably much better to do this than to play dirty against the AI or to try and block 4 guys on the final lap like you'd see at the Daytona 500, because that can go wrong in many ways. And be mindful, if you try that, obviously be mindful of the fact that you don't have a rewind button. This isn't Forza. You don't even have a restart button. And if you quit the race, you're going to have to do qualifying again. So obviously, use your attempts wisely, because if you get something wrong, you're going to have to start all over again. And yeah, that's it. I would say the hardest part of this whole thing is accurately pushing the AI cars and not losing time while doing it. Not to mention, obviously, not hitting them or not accidentally snagging the rear end. But of course, if you're on a wheel, that part should be fairly easy. And if you're on a joystick, it could serve as pretty good training for you to be smoother on it. I mean, I did this race on the joystick, and I think Daytona, and oval racing in general, is a very good place to practice constant steering, gentle steering, which is not what you typically see controller players do. So anyway, thank you guys for joining me. Make sure you clear this race on your first attempt. Make sure you just blitz this and move on to the rest of the Power Pack, which is substantially more fun than this race. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.